Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Psychopaths. Okay, now, not last episode. Last episode was great. The one before it was holy shit. This one was just, well, it was a little less than the other two episodes, but it was still good. Like, alright. Obviously, the reveal last week with the chief, you know. And here's the thing. This episode made me think, like, okay, this is a scam. It's a freaking scam. That's what this episode was like. Okay, this was episode, let's go find it. This was episode number 18. Promises written in the water. And we start off with Gino, Kogami, and every the gang, you know, going on the scene, investigating the crash that Makishima left behind. Because he left. And they go there, and those drones are there, and they say that they need to stop, and say you have no permission to come in and to investigate. They couldn't enter the crash. And then out of nowhere, here comes the chief. Wait a minute, let's rewind a bit. Did the chief die? Wait, yes, he did. Oh wait, I forgot. The chief is an android or something? Yeah, that's what we found out last week. He was a robot, so what's going on here? So obviously this was like, they made another one. Oh my god! It was such a mindfuck. Anyway. She takes Gino into the car, and it explains to him that he's wondering, you know, well, what's going on here? You know, why is it that he could access the crime scene and everything? And he's like, she's basically telling him, oh, you failed because you have yet to find Kogari. The assignment that was given to you, yet to find Kogari. And now the chief wants him the same thing like last time. We want you to find Makishima and bring him in. Alive. And not only did she say that, you have to do that, and the Division 2 of the CID, they're going to do the Kogari case. Not only that, she tells him, oh, Kogami, he has to be taken off the case. He needs to be taken off the case and needs to stay at headquarters. He's on surveillance. What? And then that's where you think to yourself, oh yeah, she's pulling all the strings here. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, God. It gets worse. Because then later on, it was like really bad. So, that's what she's basically saying. And when she says this to Kogami and the others, Kogami says, you know, oh, you know, that don't you think it's kind of funny that why is it that we don't have that much manpower here already, and now she all of a sudden decides to have me stay behind and not do this case. He found that very hilarious. And he finds it funny that maybe something's up here, something's going on, but... And obviously he walks away from it. That is an interesting... And before I want to get into the conversation he has with Akane, Gino has a conversation with his father, you know. Soka, I think his name is. And he's saying about the whole thing of master and and dog. And the fact is, you should be a third party. You shouldn't follow the way it's going. Because there's really no right answer to this situation. Because it's obvious. It's obvious. Us watching this episode. It's obvious the chief is a bitch. And it's obvious that she is controlling. Hello? You saw it last week. She's a fucking bitch. She's mastermind. So it wasn't a big surprise. And he was funny. He told his father, Gino, oh, how half-ass advice is that? It was kind of funny. That is a conversation between Akane and Kogami. And Akane is telling him, remember once when you told me you wanted to be a detective and not enforcer? And that was the whole bit. The conversation was about that, and so on and so forth. And what ends on happening after that situation is there's a few things that happen later on, I think. I'm trying to think what happened specifically. Besides that, there was the what he had decided, Gino. And what he decided was he was going to try and do it in a different way. Instead of having Kogami stay in the lab, stay there, not go do anything, he figured he'd play the old switcheroo. And that was really the two main things that happened in this episode. Was that, the beginning, and what happened after that. So he figured what will happen is he'll allow Kogami to go to Division 2. Because Division 2, CID, they're basically going to work on the Kogari case. Finding Kogari. And they're going to take Kogami and have one of their enforcers go in his place at Division 1. That way it will work out that way. So, they kind of work it out. They were going to bring him there, and then all of a sudden, boom! The drones come, and they're saying he's under arrest, and it's the chief. And the whole idea was they were going to, so he doesn't have to stay there. He can work on the Kogari case. And then Kogami's saying to her, "Oh, I didn't know you were so interested in me, Chief," and everything. And she's being very manipulative to Chief, and is telling Gino, let me show you what you really what are you going to do? Are you going to be another failure, or are you going to act like a true leader? And that's when she does exactly what she did in episode 16. When she, killed that guy and I guess killed Kogari. She told him to use the Dominator. And she changed it from Paralyzer to Eliminator! Yeah! And he's just standing there and everything, and he's about to fire, and he doesn't want to do it, Gino, and he could see it in his eyes. And out of nowhere, I was like, holy shit. Out of nowhere, a shot comes in. And you know what it is? Akane. That was the best scene of the episode. Because it was like, hey, Chief, I got something for you. Hey, I got something for you. There you go. I got this for you. It was a big, huge middle finger up the ass to the Chief, saying, fuck you, bitch. He's not going to die. So she shot him with the pyrolyzer and told Gino that this is how you really should do it. And then, after the event happens, he wakes up. He's in the hospital, And the doctor, she comes in, and she says, Akane, and he says, as she's sleeping by his bedside. And that's when things get really interesting after that. He has a conversation with her, the doctor, the one who does at the lab, and he sees the helmet that they had put on to avoid being scanned. And they have a little small talk about it and saying, just don't you take it outside of the place. And that's when, after that, Kogami has a conversation, after taking it, he has a conversation with Gino's father. And Gino, after getting out of the hospital, Gino's father gives him the keys to a safe house for emergencies that he used to have when he was a police officer. Takes the keys, he takes the helmet, and he leaves. Kogami leaves. With the helmet on, so he doesn't get noticed by the drones. And he leaves a letter, and it is just the most ridiculous things I've seen in this show. Leaves a letter for Akane, and he as he's at the safe house, he's reading the letter and everything. He's basically there, and we're hearing the words he said in the letter as he's at the safe house, and he's basically taking shit out at the safe house. He's taking out a real gun, not a Dominator, a real gun, a real pistol. And he's telling her in the letter that, I have my own path to follow. I'm going to go outside the law. There's no other way to do it. And it really is, because there's no other way, because fucking stupid Chief is a bitch. She wants Makishima alive so she can use him for the Sibley system. So, so he's telling her in the letter, and then as she's reading it, she's crying, and she says, Baka, she says, stupid. And he tells her in the letter, just to stick to what you have to do. Don't stray from what you are, a detective and everything. Continue on from there. And he says also, if you ever meet me, you'll have to take me down. And that's basically what happened in this episode. I was like, the fact of the matter is, the Chief is the one who needs to be investigated. She's the one pulling the strings. She's the one who's, the Sibley system. It's like, what the fuck, man? See, here's the thing. Even if they get Makishima, even if they get him, it's going to be the same song and dance, because the fact of the matter is, the Chief's going to do something about it, and she's going to use him to fuck up the system. It's like one of those things. And she's crying and everything. And really, this was like a sad episode at the end, because it's like, Kogami. He was like fucking around. He was like saying, okay, I'm just going to do this. Fuck the Chief. Fuck the system. I'm going to hunt down Makishima. And that's going to be it. And if he dies, he dies. Fact of the matter is, he doesn't want Akane to go down his road. And that was the whole bit about this episode. And, Chief is a fucking liar. She's hiding shit. She's a fucking robot. She's a drone. She's a fucking robot. She's metal parts. She's made out of steel. She has no heart at all. Oh yeah, she has the brain of a killer. I mean, the whole thing about it is, we heard it last week from Makishima. He told Kogami, you shouldn't risk your life for this made up, this stupid system, because he found out the truth. So yeah, there's that as well. But overall, another awesome fucking episode. I'm only giving this a 4 out of 5. Next week and the following week are probably going to blow this episode out the water. Because next week, obviously, we're going to have the whole thing with, now Kogami is a rogue. He's Batman. No, not Batman, but he's a vigilante. That's pretty much what he's doing now. But that's the only way to do it. Because Mikishima is not going to be judged. They just bring him in there so he could be used for his brain. Ooh, I want your brain. That's the whole gist. But it's going to be some kind of showdown. I mean, I had a feeling this was going to happen, but we'll see how it turns out. Because in the intro, you could see that that Kogami's leaving from them. So, yeah. But anyway, this is Bankai 922, another fucking good episode of Psychopaths. We'll see next week. We shall see. Kogami for the motherfucking win. See ya.